Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss a theory about Scream 6 that involves the multiple masks that are worn in the movie. Now it appears that masks worn by the killer or killers are older masks that were worn by previous ghost faces in the franchise. Now what if Ghostface, whomever they may be, are wearing these older masks when they attack, only to leave them behind before exiting the crime scene? What purpose would they have for doing that? Well, before I answer that, it's important to point out that this would not be the first time we've seen a Ghostface killer leave a mask behind in a Scream film. In fact, it's happened more than once. Let's go. So the theory I want to discuss is the idea that the killer or killers have these older masks that they took from the museum where they were all being displayed, and as they attack and eliminate each victim, the Ghostface killer removes the mask and leaves it behind as a type of calling card or a signature. Now, each of the older masks all hold a purpose in each attack and are in some way connected to not only the past, but also the present, and more specifically to each respective victim. Now, there's an image from the film that was circulating online around a month and a half ago, somewhere in there, of a Ghostface mask, and it's really what is spurring this idea along. And I'm going to show you this picture now. You may remember it. So you can see here that this is the aged mask that's been revealed to us already, and it's on the ground with blood on it. So this is the older aged mask with the cracks in it. So we see the blood here on the right cheek, right side of the mask. So we know this is after an attack occurs. So could this be what is happening after every attack? Having a mask left behind. I think it's definitely possible. And I believe it's very plausible that this image we're seeing right here is in fact an example of the mask being left behind after the attack occurs. And if so, the question then becomes, what is the motive of the killers to leave these masks behind? Well, one way that leaving the mask behind could connect together is if the mastermind or the Ghostface killers themselves in Scream 6 are targeting previous victims who survived and or people associated with those survivors. So if we look at the numbers here, that automatically gives us Gail, Kirby, Sam, Tara, Mindy, Chad, all as past survivors. Now, Sydney, of course, is a past survivor as well, but I didn't put her in this count because she's not in the movie. All right, but it could tie into Scream 7. But for Scream 6, we're looking at 6 survivors for Ghostface to be targeting. Plus, if you add in Dermot Maroney's character, who we know is a New York City police officer, a detective, he mentioned in an interview months ago that he has a daughter that was a victim of Ghostface in the past. Now, we don't know if she survived or not, but either way, if she did, that is a surviving victim. Or if she didn't survive, he's associated with her, so there can be motive there as well. But I'm just saying 6 for sure, possibly 7 survivors for us to see Ghostface Target in this movie. So there's plenty of attacks to wear these different masks, all from previous films. So that's definitely a possibility. Now, if Ghostface is leaving the mask at each crime scene, it would symbolize that the job is now done and complete. Almost like this Ghostface saying, you know what, you guys couldn't do it in the past. You couldn't get it done. So I have done it for you. I've done the job you couldn't do. So here you go. Drop the mic, or in this case, drop the mask. And that's exactly what this symbolizes. All right, so you have that symbolism working on one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is that these masks could serve as the clues to determine who the killer is or killers are. That's why I titled this "The Masks Are the Clues," because I'm really hoping for a more police procedural feel to the mystery in Scream 6. You know, we're in New York. We're in the big city. We're not in the small town anymore of Woodsboro. We're in the big city. The FBI is now involved, which is something new in the franchise. So this needs to be a big scale murder investigation, just like it's a big scale city, big scale, cops, FBI, all this together. Heck, the city is even called the Big Apple. So we need a big investigation here. And we need to see them investigating clues, collecting them, examining the crime scenes, examining these masks left behind. They could serve as the central clues to the case. And could you imagine us seeing scenes in a New York police station where you've got a murder board up and you've got pictures of suspects and victims, and the masks are there, or photos of the masks are there that have been left behind, and they're leading the investigation. I just think it would be so cool to see that. And this continues to get updated. Like the murder board gets updated as more and more people are eliminated. And at the same time, suspects are being eliminated as well, because some of these victims probably will be red herrings. They'll be suspects that they will not survive. And then we just finally see this eventually shake down to the very end reveal. So I think this could be so cool. And I'm really hoping that we get this type of a procedural element to the mystery, and hoping that some form of this theory I just shared is incorporated in the movie. I really do. Now, finally, I want to point out also that this would not be the first time that we will see Ghostface leaving their mask behind. We saw it first in Scream 1, when Sydney is first attacked in her home, and when Dewey arrives, he is holding the mask. Remember when she runs down after Billy comes in her window, she runs downstairs, opens that front door, and Dewey's standing there holding the Ghostface mask in his hand that he found discarded. So that was the first time we've seen that happen. And then we saw it a second time in Scream 2, when Mrs. Loomis leaves the mask and robe on the front seat of the news van right after eliminating Randy in the back of the van. So if you think about it, radio silence actually could pay homage to Scream 1 and Scream 2 by implementing this into Scream 6, giving us that nod, wink, back at the older films. And it would be a very meta thing to do. And listen, those type of things are part of the franchise. They are the DNA of Scream, these look back winks that we see throughout the franchise. So that would be really, really cool. All right, guys. Well, listen, I want to know what you think about the possibility of Ghostface once again leaving their mask behind, and as a type of signature this time, or calling card at the scene of the attacks. I want to know what you think about that. What are your ideas? What theories do you have with these masks possibly being left behind? So start leaving your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. Well, that's going to be it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.